Good day. Myself Dr. M. Pungore from Dr. NCP Arts and Science College. Let us see more in detail about glycolysis. In this video, we are going to see what is glycolysis, overview of glycolysis, and how this metabolic pathway is regulated, the steps involved in glycolysis, and what is the net energy yield the cells get upon glycolysis, the fate of NADH and pyruvate after glycolysis. Glycolysis is an important step. Only because of glycolysis we get the energy that is required by the cells. Glycolysis is a series of reactions that extract energy from glucose by splitting it into two 3-carbon molecules called pyruvate. So we take food, the food is converted into glucose, all the carbohydrates are broken down to glucose. The glucose is split up into 3-carbon molecule called as pyruvate. This step is called as glycolysis. Glycolysis is nothing but splitting up of glucose. Glycose stands for glucose, lysis stands for splitting up. Glycolysis takes place in both aerobic and anaerobic organisms. It is the first step of cellular respiration. The cell respires. It is the first step in cell's respiration. Glycolysis takes place in the cytosol, in the cytoplasm. The glycolysis takes place. So glycolysis can be broken down into two main phases. There are two important phases in glycolysis. One is energy requiring phase and the other is energy releasing phase. The first phase requires ATP, so it is called as energy requiring phase. The second phase relieves energy, so it is called as energy releasing phase. So this is the overview of glycolysis. So these the steps above the dotted line are phase 1 and the steps below the dotted line shows phase 2. So glucose is converted to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Here we can see that ATP is taken and ADP is given out. So it requires energy. ATP is utilized. That is why it is called as energy requiring phase. Now fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is now split up into dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is also converted to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and by several reactions this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted to pyruvate. So in the steps when glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted to pyruvate, we can see that NAD is reduced, also ATP is utilized and ATP is produced. Since ATP, the high energy molecule, is produced, this phase is called as energy releasing phase. So now hope we are clear that why the first phase is called as energy requiring phase and the second phase is called as energy releasing phase. So since first phase uses ATP, it is called energy requiring phase. The second phase releases ATP, so it is called as energy releasing phase. So this is the overview of glycolysis. We'll see glycolysis in detail. So to say in a nutshell, glucose is broken down to pyruvate molecule. Pyruvate is a 3-carbon molecule. So glucose is a 6-carbon molecule. 6-carbon glucose is split up into two 3-carbon molecules which is called as pyruvate. During this process, ADP, two ADP molecules are utilized and we get two ATP molecules overall, and 2-NAD is reduced to 2-NADH. How this glycolysis is regulated? For regulating glycolysis, everything should be regulated. Only then whenever we need we can stop the reaction and whenever we need we can proceed the reaction. Similarly, the metabolic reactions are regulated. So glycolysis is regulated by the enzyme phosphofructokinase. So whenever needed, phosphofructokinase speeds up the reaction, or whenever it is not needed, whenever we don't want glycolysis to take place, with the help of phosphofructokinase, we can slow down glycolysis. So depending on the energy need of the cell, We can either speed up glycolysis or we can slow down glycolysis. Every time the cell won't require the same energy. After we eat, we consume food, when we work, we need energy. So glycolysis should take place. Whenever we are in rest, we don't need energy. So glycolysis should be slowed down. Glycolysis converts one 6-carbon molecule, that is one molecule of glucose, into two 3-carbon molecules called as pyruvate. So finally, the net products of this process are 2 ATP molecules and 2 NADH molecules. So this is how glycolysis is regulated. The key enzyme in regulation of glycolysis is phosphofructokinase. To see in detail the steps involved in glycolysis, so glucose molecule is taken, and in presence of the enzyme hexokinase, where ATP is utilized and ADP is produced. So ATP is broken down to ADP. So triphosphate is broken down to give diphosphate and another phosphate molecule. This phosphate molecule goes and binds with the 6th carbon of glucose to form glucose 6-phosphate. You can see where the phosphate binds. The phosphate binds to the 6th carbon of glucose, so you get glucose 6-phosphate. The second step is mediated by phosphoglucoisomerase enzyme, where this isomerase converts glucose 6-phosphate to its isomer fructose 6-phosphate. Next, third step is favored by the enzyme phosphofructokinase. So this is a kinase enzyme. It utilizes ATP. We can see that all kinases utilize ATP molecule. Phosphofructokinase utilizes another ATP molecule, and it breaks ATP into ADP and PI. This phosphate binds again to the first carbon of fructose. So you get fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So next, in the second phase, so till this it is the first phase of glycolysis. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is broken down to dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by the enzyme aldolase. This dihydroxyacetone phosphate is also converted to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in presence of the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. We can see the free energy released in the reactions delta G. So we can see in the first step delta G is -4. Minus means it requires energy, whereas here delta G is in plus, means it releases energy. Now coming back to phase 2. So in phase 2, it starts with glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in presence of the enzyme glyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase, where here NAD is reduced to NADH. That is, the hydrogen from 4th carbon of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is utilized for the reduction of NAD+. So glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted to 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate after losing the hydrogen in the 4th carbon. Now 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is converted to 3-phosphoglycerate by the enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase. Here ADP is taken in and ATP is released. So the phosphate from the 4th carbon is donated to ADP. So ADP is converted to ATP. So next 3-phosphoglycerate is converted to 2-phosphoglycerate in presence of enzyme phosphoglyceromutase. So here energy is delta G is -4.5. Since ATP is generated, ATP is released, here the energy is -4.5. So phosphoglyceromutase converts 3-phosphoglycerate to 2-phosphoglycerate, and now in presence of enolase, one molecule of water is removed. So 2-phosphoglycerate is converted to phosphoenol pyruvate, and here also ADP is converted to high energy molecule called as ATP. So the 3rd carbon also loses its phosphate, so finally we get pyruvate. So this is the steps involved in glycolysis. Glycolysis is an important reaction where glucose molecule is converted to pyruvate. So the overall reaction, one molecule of glycolysis By utilizing one ATP molecule, it is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate is converted to its isomer fructose 6-phosphate. And by utilizing another molecule of ATP, it is converted to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Then it is converted, broken down to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is by reduction of NAD, it is converted to 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate by utilizing 2 ATP molecule, it is converted to 3-phosphoglycerate, then to 2-phosphoglycerate, then finally phosphoenol pyruvate and pyruvate. So we can see that in phase 2, 4 ATP molecules are produced, whereas in phase 1, 2 ATP molecules are used up. So 4 minus 2 gives the net energy that is released by glycolysis as 2 ATP molecules and 2 NADH. So what happens to produced NADH and pyruvate after glycolysis? So pyruvate gets oxidized. Pyruvate enters into citric acid cycle and there it gets oxidized. Oxidative phosphorylation occurs and pyruvate gets oxidized. NADH. So glycolysis needs NAD plus to accept the electrons. So when oxygen is present, NADH gives its electrons to electron transport chain and so NAD plus is regenerated. So when oxygen is present, NADH is converted to NAD plus. This NAD plus will be utilized for glycolysis. When oxygen is absent, then for regenerating NAD plus, NADH donates its electrons to acceptor molecule, so which does not make ATP because oxygen is not there, oxygen is absent. So in the absence of oxygen, NADH from NADH, NAD plus is regenerated by the process called as fermentation, where electrons are donated to the acceptor molecule. So in this video, we have seen what is glycolysis, how important glycolysis is, and what is the net energy that is released by glycolysis, the fate of NADH and pyruvate after glycolysis. Thank you.